Yo, Laurent. Oh, we're not doing that today. Mm. Looks like I'm on a podcast with a few Debbie Downers, man. What's going on? Talk to me.
Silence is deafening, eh?
Yeah, truly, truly. Come on, man. You guys are top of the table. Top of the table, top in the Champions League, finals for EFL, FA Cup, and this is the mood you guys decide to bring in, eh?
What is it like 2 wins and 8, CJ?
Yo, is it actually?
And the Prem, I believe so.
No
Hmm.
fucking way. Hold on, I gotta check that.
Yeah, it's 2 win and 8.
What?
Is it 8? I thought it was 7.
Nah.
So Bournemouth. So if I go back to January, we beat Bournemouth, we drew Liverpool, we drew Forest, we lost to United, we beat Leeds, we beat Sunderland, we drew Brentford, and we drew Wolves. So three wins in the calendar year
In the Prem.
in the Prem.
So it's 3 wins in seven.
3 wins in one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8.
Oh. Hmm.
Now, if you're me, who I'm not trying to take a shot at you, CJ, but if you're me, who's always been the optimistic one, you look at that and say, at least this is happening in January, February, and not March, April, or into May. Um, but then again, the word that Laurent always hates it when I use, the context. Context matters because we've had several opportunities in that 8 game stretch and even before that to open the lead. Open the lead to not just 9 points, right? Open the lead to 12 points. And if we had won those games in December, we could have opened the lead up to 15 points in
Mm.
January, right? And I believe, if my math serves me right, there was a point where that 15 points could have been 18 points with the
Mm.
way that the games were uh, done and with the way that City was dropping points, and we could have picked up points. Now, you said this is the type of mood that we're bringing. Yeah, the fact of the matter is, we're still top. And the conversation media right now is, well, if City win out, they win the Premier League. Well, if Arsenal win out, we win the Premier League. We don't need to go to the Etihad and win. We need to get a result. Straight up, right? Like you said, yes, we're still in all four competitions. But the context of that also matters. The context of that is the EFL Cup is March 22nd. That is, I think that is going to be defining on how the season ends.
Hmm.
We're either going to kick on or it's going to come crumbling down. Because after the EFL Cup, I believe it's the international break because we don't play after that until April 11th. And there's going to be a few weeks for Arteta and Co to think about what just happened. Either they won and they're like, okay, let's fucking go, because there's a likelihood that we may face them in Champions League, right? So that we may face them 4 times, which in a month, in the month span. So, but before we get to all of that, I think the big thing for me is lack of heart, lack of understanding of, and the only way I can describe what I want to express is, I don't know if CJ, if you remember, there's a lot of memes going around with Gabriel Martinelli making fun of the Wolves fans.
Mm.
And
Showing the score line, right?
yeah,
Yep.
and to me, it's fine. You want to do that, but do that when the final whistle's blown. And the context of things is Wolves already know they're going down. Wolves are already going down in September. You're not saying anything, but you're arguing with a team that you should have walked all over. And they came to the Emirates, and yes, of course we won, but what was the manner in that we won? They unsettled us. Same thing again, like Rob Edwards said it perfectly. They unsettled us again. The way that Saliba put his hands on his head after we gave up the first goal, the way Gabriel dove for that header outside the box where he got kicked in the head. Like, why are we playing like we were playing 3 years ago? It's very erratic. It's very rash. It's it's not what we talked about 10 pods ago, where it was very controlled, right? That's Arteta's favorite thing, control. There is zero control in 2026. And the last thing that I will say before I hand it over to CJ is the alarm bells are loud. And if this group of fans, sorry, if this group of players wants to not have history be made again, they need to get their act together. As much as we can blame Arteta, as much as we can blame X, Y, and Z, when you're on the pitch, you have to show the heart. And I don't think the players are. I think the players are losing their head. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong. Some people may say it's Arteta, but for me, I think the players are losing their head. Pass it over to you, CJ.
Mm. Well, for me, okay, I've been holding this in for a while, so guys, allow me my 2 minute monologue here, and then you guys can chime in afterwards or give me your rebuttals if you have any. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me, just a couple of things I'll read off quickly in terms of the specifics of the game itself. 49% possession in the second half. First time a team leading the league has dropped a two-goal deficit to bottom of the league. Um, Only Crystal Palace and West Ham have dropped more points from winning positions than Arsenal since the turn of the year. And then obviously we read the stat about 2 wins in 7 or 3 wins in 8 um, in our last 7 or 8 in the Premier League. Now that is not title winning form, not one iota, as they say. Um, and for me, yesterday's game was just the epitome and almost a breaking point for me. Because I'll tell you guys right now, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I don't think we win the Premier League from here, and I think maybe you guys will have. I'd love to get your guys's refound positions on this, considering yesterday's result. Like if we were to start fresh today and say, okay, from here on out, predictions, who's going to win the league from here on out? I don't think it's Arsenal. Like there's simply no way, and I'm trying to contain my frustration. I've been trying to contain it for the last 24 hours. And apologies again if this is the negative Nelly in me, but I've seen this movie before and I just tend to know how it ends. And yeah, I've tried to be optimistic all season. I've tried to be level-headed. Um, but I'm not, man, at this moment in time. And I think, the negative Arsenal fans out there, some of them are over the top. Yes, I understand. It's always the negative, versus the positive Arsenal fans, right? Or the toxic positive Arsenal fans or the toxic negative fans, whichever one is toxic, both may be toxic. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's because all fans of the club want to see Arsenal succeed. If it means Arteta's in charge, then by all means. This is not Arteta FC, first of all, right? This is Arsenal FC. We support Arsenal. Arteta will Arsenal Football Club will be here before and after Arteta, before and after Arsene Wenger, before and after any manager. It's the club that we support. So we want the best for the football club, you know? And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, the negativity, and these are the reasons why. These are the reasons why rival clubs, and Laurent has a neutral face right now, but he'll be sitting there doing that old tongue face and licking his lips in the background and saying, you know what I mean? Pause. And saying like, like people are waiting for this day. It seems to always come around this time of year, right? Where we just tend to drop off and bottle it. And rival fans will come at us, the negative Arsenal fans will come out, and the anti-Arteta, fans will come out all for these reasons. Like results like yesterday. It's just like here we go again. And the term bottle it, I can't have any disagreements with that term at this moment in time. That yesterday, what you saw truly was bottling it. Like that is truly bottling it. You know, we sat here at home against West Ham and barely got over the line, and Laurent was giving us shit, and rightfully so. I mean, again, that should have been alarm bells at that moment in time. That's 2-1 at Wolves at home at the Emirates. And we won that game by an own goal in the last minute. And Declan Rice and the likes came out and pretty much publicly acknowledged that that wasn't good enough. So how do we go to Wolves away and still put in the same kind of performance and this time actually drop points? This Wolves side is one of the worst, if not the worst. They're on track to be the worst Premier League team in history in terms of points totals and everything. And that's the team that us in a title race are dropping points to with a 2-goal lead. I'm sorry, man. That's not good enough. And the tag bottle, it's right. We deserve it, bro. Oh, fully. I tried to defend my club and our club, but we fully bottled it yesterday. And we have Spurs next, and Chelsea next, and Brighton away next. And you want to tell me that we're gonna max points? Because that's what we're gonna need to do. We need to maximize points in those next 3 to 4 games in order to win this league still. And we can't beat Wolves away. We're already showing signs of pressure in January, February, the likes of Man United, the likes of Brentford, the likes of Forest, the way we're playing nervy. And we think from here on out, because it's now officially in Man City's hands as well as ours, and we think that we're going to go and win all those games after what I saw yesterday, and we're going to go to the Etihad, and we're going to get the points that we need to secure this title. We have to win out. They have to win out. Who's more likely at this moment in time? Like we're not showing it, bro. We're just not showing it. And I think yesterday was my breaking point where I said we're still not ready. And bro, if we 4 years in a row, second again, ole ole, we have Wolves fans singing second again, ole ole to us. It's to the point where it's starting to sound a little bit catchy. Like I might start singing and shrugging my shoulders and saying second again, ole ole. Like you know what I mean? It's starting to sound like a
Went from
vibe.
corner corner to second again. Ole
Bro,
ole.
it's starting to sound like a vibe. Because, bro, is this what we're doing here? Is this what we are? Like, it's just, and again, specifically to the players, I understand, right? I do. I understand that the players have to go out and perform regardless of who's in charge. Um, the players got to go out and do the business on the field. That 11 that was put out yesterday should be more than good enough to get 3 points at Wolves, right? There's no doubt about it. However, my thing is, I think this is a trend in terms of how we're approaching games, right? This is not a one-off. Like I said,
No.
we're not taking games by the scruff of the neck, in my opinion. You know, and it all starts with the leadership, right? In any line of work, I've said this previously, in any line of work, in any corporate environment, any I don't know, family environment at home in your old households, whenever something is going wrong, who's accountable? It's always the leader, right? It's always the leader at the top, whether they're actually directly responsible or not. The leader is always the accountable one, right? The leader, the manager, your boss, your whoever, the director, like the leadership is always who you look to when the ship is not steering in the right direction, always in anything, you know, whether they're directly accountable or not. And in this case, the same applies. We have to have the same energy for our current manager, Mikel Arteta. He, you know, yes, for me he is directly accountable, and he's not. Obviously, there's a lot of it as the players, but for me he's accountable as well because it's the way we approach these games. Like again, surely not all these players in attack are that rubbish. You know what I mean? Like we're not getting the best out of this team attack wise. We score one and then we sit off. We score two and then we sit off. And then we don't go and grab the game. The way teams in the past, like Liverpool City, who want to win the league, they'll go and grab the game to win it. We don't grab the game to try and win it. We try and play the percentages. Whereas we have control long enough so that if we have 70% possession or 80% possession, at some point, playing the percentages means eventually we'll create a chance that leads to a goal. Eventually, based on the control and domination that we have in games. No, man. No. You have to go out and grab the game the title is not going to come to you. We're not going to sit around and wait for the title to come to us based on percentages and control and margin. Like we have to go and grab it. We have to go and grab this title. We have to go and grab individual games. You have to go and score your goals. You have to go and create your chances. You have to go and be brave. We're not showing any of that as far as I'm concerned. And again, for me, that starts with the top. That starts with the manager because this is now direction who from yes, inexperienced players, but also an experienced manager who has not been there, done it. We play with the handbrake on. That's not a coincidence. That doesn't come from just one player. That doesn't come from two players. That comes from leadership. I'm sorry, it does. We don't go out and grab games by the scruff of the neck. We play with the handbrake on. We say it, I've said it before. Arteta is a risk-averse manager. He just is. We play with caution first and defense first and don't lose the game first. But how about we go and try and win the game instead of don't lose the game? So many times. Yesterday, you can tell we were in stick or twist mode. In the second half, when we scored our second goal, which came against the run of play, mind you. Anyone who watched the full 90 minutes, when Nketiah scored the second goal, it actually kind of came against the run of play because we didn't really do enough to get that second goal, mind you. So it came against the run of play, so we're up 2-0. And at that point, you're thinking, do we stick or do we twist? Right? That's what the players are thinking. And I think again that's a message that comes from the top. It's either we go and grab the third goal or we see out the rest of the half on a 2-0 lead. And in the end, we didn't either. We didn't go for the third goal when we were up 2-0 against Wolves. And we also didn't obviously see out the game because we conceded two stupid ass goals. Right? That's pressure, that's uncertainty in these situations, that's not knowing how to handle a title race, in my opinion. And we're all inexperienced in this, from the coach to the players. We're all inexperienced in this.
I
And
think.
and
Sorry.
no, I was gonna say, and that's my concern in this title race and for it going forward for however many games that we have left. Arteta's not going to do necessarily a 360 in the way we approach games because it's too late into the season for that, and it's too late into his tenure to do that. We can't. He's not going to change do a 360 in terms of our style of play and in terms of how we approach games. It's just not going to happen at this point. So, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen an attack so dysfunctional and so sort of lackluster. Um, we brought in the players, right? He has the squad. It's no excuse. We can get the better out of the likes of Gyökeres and Noni
As
Madueke and
a
Eze, that these players that we brought in. Surely we can. I genuinely feel like a more attack-minded manager would get the better of these attacking players. However, again, taking this away from Arteta for a second, some of them are just genuinely not good enough. Like Martinelli should never start another Premier League game for the rest of his time at Arsenal because I think he should be sold in the summer. Personally, that's just my opinion. He hasn't progressed since 19 years old. He's been here since 2019, 2018. In fact, he looks like he's gotten worse. He hasn't improved as a player. He hasn't showed that level of maturity. He's a cup player at this moment in time for maybe a mid-table club, but for a team in a title race, starting left wing week in, week out, no, man. Nah. Sorry. We've seen this story one too many times. Again, we know how it ends. You know? I'm just it's not working, bro. The attack is not working. When have you guys ever known a team to be in a title race and in February going into March, not one of our attackers is double digits for goals in the league? Not one. I'll ask you another question. By the end of the season, what team that ever has won the league will have no attacking players in the PFA team of the year? You know what I mean? Every team that's won the league, I've said this before, a team that's won the league would always have one of their attackers in a team of the year because they played a crucial piece or they've scored X, Y amount of goals, X, Y, Z amount of goals. We would be the first team to win a league and not have any on one of our attackers in a player of the year because none of them deserve it, or even double digits in goals. Like, what is going on? So, anyways, that's my piece for what I've had to say. But yeah, so you guys know my feelings, my frustrations, and I'm being honest. I don't think it's looking good for the Premier League specifically for us from here on out, based on the games that we have left, based on the fact that we've now let City firmly into the driving seat, pretty much, and recent performances. Again, look at our next three games: Spurs away, Chelsea at home, Brighton away. Are we collecting 9 points out of that? And
I
the way
think
it looks at this
we're
moment in time is it feels like we can't drop any more points. Sorry, that's the last thing I'll say. It feels like we can't drop any more points, but do you trust this Arsenal? There, having said that, do you trust this Arsenal team to win out, knowing that there's no more margin for error?
I
Sorry,
think where I
Mehrdad.
agree with you. No, no. I think where I agree with you about the Mikel Arteta thing is man management. I'm looking at the stats for number of minutes played. David Raya, obviously, number one. Number two, Martin Zubamendi. Number three, Declan Rice. And with the North London Derby coming up. Oh, sorry, number four, also Jury and Timber. With the London Derby coming up, I think the one thing that was shocking to me is how leggy the midfield looked and how leggy Jury and Timber looked.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think where I can put blame on Arteta is rotation. You brought in Christian Norgard, who had a phenomenal season at Brentford last year, and Ben White, who's been your go-to before Timber came. Why is it that Christian Norgard has played 35 minutes in the Premier League and Ben White 411? Now Ben White, there were some injuries there, but he's fine. He's fully healthy. Christian Norgard is fully healthy. 35 minutes. Surely against Wolves, Christian Norgard can play the six. Surely. Surely this is a game where you can give rest to the players that need the rest for the more important games that are coming up. Surely. That's for me where I have frustration. William Saliba and Gabriel, okay, sure. Maybe you don't want to rotate everything, but surely Norgard can do a job against Wolves. Against Wolves. We're not talking about Chelsea. We're not talking about Spurs against Wolves. And why not put in Ben White? You know, like that's where for me Arteta is dropping the ball again.
So can I ask you, do you enjoy our style of play at the moment? Like, do you like what you watch from us?
I mean, recency bias, I'm gonna obviously say no. But if I say from collectively from the entire year, I wouldn't say I dislike it. I think there's areas of improvement that need improving. Um, but recency bias, no, obviously not. Obviously
You
not.
guys,
And I think,
you guys been winning games. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
sorry to
it
cut you off,
masks
but
it. Yeah, it masks it.
I,
You're right. It masks things.
yeah, yeah, and I think I swear, CJ, you must have said this on your podcast because I think we've covered this question before. Um, and you're like, so long as we win. But I guess funny
That's the
enough,
key.
it's
That's the key. Yeah. So
yeah,
long
when
as
you're
we
not
win.
winning, yeah,
I think the big thing here, like right now, is the same way that you said, CJ. Yes, City are technically in the driving seat, but we still have a big say.
Yeah.
We still have a big say, and I did say it in our group chat, like with Newcastle, the way that they beat Karabag, they're gonna have a little pep in their step going to that Etihad. The other context of it, which is my favorite word, is the fact that City knocked them out of the EFL Cup. Right? Newcastle beat them at St James's Park, but City knocked them out of the EFL Cup, and they were the reigning champs. So they also have they also have something to fight for this game, right? So who knows? Maybe City drop points this weekend, and then we win in the North London Derby, and then the context of things change. I think there's another twist in this title race.
Mhm.
However, what this does not take away is the performances in the last 8 games since the turn of the year. That needs to be fixed, and that needs to be fixed yesterday, right? And I think to fix that, and again, I'm just trying to say this from an optimistic point of view, is I think the man management needs to be better. I think the legginess of our midfield, the legginess of our right back, like use your squad. That's why you got a big squad. That's why we're in 4 competitions. And yes, I understand Premier League games are harder. I understand the context of all of that. But the most important thing right now is let's get the win at Wolves, however ugly it is. You can get Norgard, you can get Lewis Skelly in there, you can get White in there, right? You know the North London Derby is serious, and then you have a week off to prepare for Chelsea. You have a full week. Like surely you could rest some. I don't know. Maybe I'm just ranting on at this point, but that's where I agree with you that Arteta dropped the ball. I don't think it's a tactics thing right now. I think it's mainly man management. I think some players like need a rest. They need a breather.
So for going forward, you see how you're saying, because you even brought this to me yesterday before the Wolves game. We were talking about it offline, and you were saying, oh, like, there's a potential for City to drop points this weekend against Newcastle, which is entirely true. But what's that also that famous meme that goes around with Arsenal? It's like the stick is titled Arsenal. The person is titled Arsenal, and you know what I mean? It's the meme of what's gonna stop Arsenal from winning this league is Arsenal themselves. You see what I'm saying? Like the stick that
Yeah.
beats Arsenal is Arsenal themselves. We're gonna beat ourselves. No other team is gonna beat us. We're gonna beat ourselves. And sorry, so for maybe that was too hectic of a reference. I don't know if you really caught that, but I guess essentially what that means is yes, City can drop points, right? But it's also like, do you like my thing is, do you trust us to do our job, right? Because there's 100%. I think City will drop points from here on out. They will. But does that mean do you trust us enough at this moment in time to capitalize on that? Do you know what I mean? Like we
At
have to do
this
our
at
jobs
this very
first.
moment, absolutely not. I don't I do not trust this. Am I gonna stand by my team and still predict that we're gonna win? 100%. Because that I guess maybe I'm the toxic optimist, right? Because I want to see us win. I don't want to see these memes. I don't want to see fucking United fans say that they're in the title race now somehow. Like
Hmm.
sit in the back corner. You're gonna play 40 games this fucking season. Like if United fans are popping up and they call Arsenal fans deluded, my friend, fucking go like relax.
Hmm. And
So
listen, man, I agree with you. I agree with you fully. Like I want us to win the league as well. Like, and that's why I'm so frustrated. And again, this is what for people out there listening and watching who are of an Arsenal persuasion. It's like the divisive nature is at the end of the day, we all want our club to win. Like, I'm passionate about it on a negative and angry standpoint, and Mehrdad's optimistic about it and whatnot, trying to see the positives. At the end of the day, we all want the best for our club, and this is why there's this frustration going around. And again, after results like yesterday, like you have to understand where the negative people come from
yeah,
because it's a full-on bottle job. We cannot 4 years in a row. We'll be the first team to go 4 years in a row, second
twice,
place.
twice we did it. We were the last team that did it.
But 4 years in a row has never been
Yes.
done.
Oh, four. Oh, yeah. No, no.
Four years.
Hold on. Let me fact check that.
Yeah, check it. 4 years in a row has never been done. We'd be the first with that tag. Imagine that tag, Laurent. You're there. I know you'd be laughing at that. That's ammunition that you'd need all day in our back and forth banter. You know what I mean? 4 years in a row, the bridesmaid. Bro,
Oh
I
no,
have to
we were
go.
the one that did it last time too. 98, 98, 99, 99, 2000,
That
2000,
was only three.
2001.
That
No,
was
no,
only
no.
three in a row.
Oh,
It was only three. This will be the first year for four in a row,
we
finishing
finished
second.
second. Oh, 02, 03. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I
So in
clearly
a
can't
row,
read.
in terms of
Yeah,
in a row.
yeah.
This will be the first time a team will finish second 4 years in a
Fuck.
row. How does anybody survive that? The manager surely would have to get sacked. Like, no one's going to gaslight me into thinking if we win a League Cup and win the Carabao Cup, that's not enough for me. We were winning FA Cups and Carabao Cups under Wenger. Eric Ten Hag won a League Cup and got sacked. Ange Postecoglou won the Europa League and got sacked. None of these second tier trophies are going to keep me happy. Laurent's not even happy with a Club World Cup and a Conference League from Maresca. So no one's going to tell me that winning the League Cup alone or an FA Cup here
Fuck.
and there is going to save this guy's job. For me, he needs to win the Premier League or the Champions League, and anything other than that, he's got to go. Because 4 years in a row as the bridesmaid, bro, I will be on. You guys aren't going to hear from me. I'll be on holiday. No one's going to see me for 4 months until the new season starts. Like control, alt, delete the club. Like that's ultimate
So
bottom
wait,
in
hold
this
on. Let me
position.
ask you a question. Let me ask you an
Mm,
honest question.
mm.
We finished second, but we win champions.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take that. He has to win one of the majors, Premier League or
So
Champions League.
so we finished second though, but he wins Champions League. You're
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
with it.
yeah. One of the majors, Premier League or Champions League. That's more than good enough for me. And that's how quickly the fine the margins are, right? Because you win the Champions League but finish second, you'd probably still get a statue outside the stadium because you're the only manager to ever win Arsenal a Champions League. But you don't win either of those, and you're cooked. You should be sacked, in my opinion. Should be gone. Because again, 4 years in a row, second place, that's never been done. And for him, like think about the mental hurdle on that too. Like you should probably also step down at that time and think like, shit, you know what? Maybe I'm not the guy for the job. That is an exhausting thing for the players. I don't know where we would go from here as a group, as from players to management, because you know how mentally exhausting that is to come runners up 4 years in a row after being in such a commanding position, especially this one. Like there's context, as you say, to previous years, maybe. There is absolutely no context to this one. I predicted Liverpool to win the league at the start of this season. They're nowhere to be found. So we should be next in line. You know what I mean? And from the position that we're in, the points gap that we started this calendar year with, there's just no excuse for us not to win the league now. And if we don't win it from here on, the heads have to roll.
Before we move on from this, Lauren, I want to ask you a question, just as the outsider, because you don't really have any. I mean, the only skin in the game you have is that you're a London rival. But
Mm.
as an outsider looking at this, would you agree with CJ's rhetoric that if he finishes second in the Premier League but wins the Champions League, that's a successful season for him or for Arsenal?
Yeah. Yeah, given the fact that it hasn't been won in the past. So yeah, yeah, I think there's still quite a bit of success to be salvaged from that. Yeah. But sorry, if I may add to what you guys have said thus far. I again I didn't watch the beginning of the game. I kind of if I'm being completely honest, once I saw 2-0,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm not even gonna tune in. What the fuck? And then I saw 2-1. And then now things started getting interesting, right? So I tuned in when it was 2-1, and it just had a bit like it had a weird energy or vibe to it. The whole time you're almost like, what's going on? The rain is pouring. You can tell the pitch is creating and for anyone who's played, right? Usually when it's raining like that, right? Sometimes it's quite easy to misplace passes, right? So funny
Mm-hmm.
enough, I think for a team like Arsenal, which thrives more so on the control, right? Uh, it was more less so favorable for them. Whereas, Wolf, maybe you knock the ball a few yards, right? Get a guy to run it, or you throw in a ball, right? Into the box. Kind of did how they did it, right? In that last instance, and you get that. But what was really surprising to me though was the fact that it was two players that are highly dependable that caused that error. That to me is what I'm having trouble understanding. Because let's be real,
Pressure, nerves.
Mm-hmm.
but I see what you're saying.
And it's, in my opinion, sorry guys,
Mhm,
it's the
mhm,
keeper's fault. After watching it multiple times, it's the keeper's
mhm.
fault. But continue. That's my opinion.
You think?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, keeper could have been shouting, right? Right? Like, I have it, let it go, right? And then at that point, you just duck if you're the defender, right? So, I don't know, but Arteta, because I know you're blaming Arteta on this. You can definitely blame him in terms of maybe the reaction, right? But again, you guys were up 2-0, so
Yeah. Not just the one game alone in isolation, by the way.
right,
I zoomed
right,
out over the bigger picture of why
right.
this continues to happen. But yeah.
Okay, no, that's fair, that's fair. But I don't think Arteta predicts that, like, because again, no one predicts
Mhm.
that Gabby and Raya would collide and allow that. And then on top of that, funny enough, like the guy still has to go out there and shoot the ball, right? And I think it hit the post before it hit
Yeah, hit the post, hit Calafiori, and went in.
right, right. So, bro, even as I'm watching this, and I know other fans that were watching this, we're thinking, holy shit, yo, these guys are gonna get away with it. Because as soon as it hit Calafiori, you're thinking, oh, that thing, that ball's going out. And then it actually goes in, and it's like, but
You
again, it's
celebrated,
just,
be honest. You
oh,
celebrated low key. You celebrated low key. You did
of
like a little fist
course,
bump in your
of
living room.
course, because now it's fucking entertaining, bro. Like
Fucking
that,
guy.
this league is wide open, and like I said I do want you guys to win it, but yeah, for entertainment purposes, my gosh, man, this sets everything up. And your game versus City, a big one. But I think even before you guys even get there, the Tottenham game is, I think now is just crucial, beyond crucial. Like any error or misstep in this game, and I think that's when you can, because I know you're saying you're sealed. Now, I don't think you guys are sealed yet, because you guys still have to, right? You beat them, and then, right, Chelsea and whoever else.
Did he play first though this weekend? So we're gonna know.
Yeah, but
We're gonna.
let's say even I'm saying like because even if they win out, they still have to face you in between, and I think that's where, right? Let's say you guys go full points, right? Theoretically, you guys still have a chance to then face them and actually take that control back, right? In terms of establishing a good lead. But back to the main point, I don't think Arteta sees that as an ending. No one does, right? If we're all being real. And yeah, maybe you kill off the game. I know Martinelli had a chance, and bro, like I seen that in a highlight, and he kind of just tapped the ball to the keeper. You guys seen that?
Did we see that?
Yeah, like yeah, legit. Bro, this is the same guy that was in the League Cups, and my bro, he performs even in the Champions League. I swear he's been performing pretty decently, right? So yeah, it's quite strange, but it is what it is. I don't think it's the end per se, but I will say that Arteta, because it almost seems like even when I think I saw his presser actually. This is the first time I've actually seen this guy's presser because I wanted to see how he handles the pressure in those situations. And heck, if he even takes a bit of from the Liam Rose Senior notebook on that end. And I will say this, he seemed pretty stern on the matter. Um, but I'm not too confident in whether or not, because he says like what you want to hear in that situation. But if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'd be fearful of whether or not he's actually going to implement anything that changes
Hmm.
the approach to these games. And that to me is the scary part because there's no way in hell you can keep playing with that mentality going forward. You see what I'm saying? Something has to definitely change.
Hmm.
One, two, and we I don't know if even the pundits or whoever else has mentioned this, but this game, I think for you guys has destroyed that image of invincibility of sorts that you guys have had
Yes.
up to this point. And for even like again, like a team like Tottenham, right? Mind you, that manager that got sacked for these guys was apparently a secret spy for Arsenal, right? A covert agent that would always talk to them about how great Arsenal, like it's like imagine your girl talking to you about how great her ex was all the time, and then you see that fucker the next week. What do you think you're gonna want to do, right? And that's what I'm saying. And at this point, is that image, I think, just like that mirage has pretty much dissipated for the rest of the teams. So it's like, yo, these guys, we can hurt them. And I feel like that might be something that is going to be quite damaging for you guys going forward. And now, like, bro, teams are actually going to come out and play versus you guys, as opposed to, before during the earlier parts of the season, once you guys were in games, you notice that teams were a bit fearful, right? Because holy shit, these guys, right? They defend well and whatnot. Let's be a bit more conservative in approach. And I think that's going to change for your remaining games. So, yeah.
But see, for me on that, and Murder, I can ask you a quick question. I know we have to move on. I'm going to ask you one quick question. So just you can give like a one-liner answer.
Mhm.
Just quickly. So having Laurent, like having said that as well, why I want to know why it is that you believe. I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit. Pause. Why you believe, like genuinely, that why you trust us to still win the league from this point on? Like, what is it that you're seeing that you trust genuinely that you think that we will salvage the situation and go on to win the league? Like, I want to know specifically.
I think it's the leaders in the dressing room. I think the likes of Declan Rice, Gabriel, um, Saka. I think they're gonna get a rise out of the group, and I think that this North London derby is gonna be telling of what we're gonna do from here on out.
Hmm.
I trust the leadership group. I might be, I might be, like I said in our
You
group
didn't
chat.
include Odegaard in that, so
Well, no, I mean it's already come out that Arsenal's looking at potentially moving on from Odegaard. I think
As captain, or as like a player entirely?
as a player entirely.
Oh shit.
No, I wouldn't include Odegaard because as much as I think he is crucial for our attack, I think he's let the team down a lot. And I trust the other captains on the team. And again, as much as I'm pointing fingers to Arteta for misman management and stuff like that, I think for him to get this team to this point, and not a lot of people want to hear this, for him to get this team to this point, competing year in and year out is something that you and I would have died for during our banter era. And for him to get us from where we were to where we are now, there clearly is something in him. And I think the people that he has around him, Stuyvenberg, Gabriel Heinze, Nicholas Jover, I think especially Gabriel Heinze, like I think he's one of those guys that doesn't care if you don't want to hear it. He will tell you how it is, right? And I think they're gonna have a conversation with Mikel to be like, hey, we need to change something.
Mm.
So that's just me. Maybe again, I'm always been the hopeless optimist. So, but for the main reason is the leaders in the group.
Okay.
Um, just briefly, Newcastle. I hinted at it a little bit earlier. They dominated Carabag. 4 goals from Anthony Gordon, en route to beating them 6-1. Um, I guess beating Carabag isn't for everyone. So well done, Newcastle. Um, sorry, I had to. I mean, just allow it, bro. I mean, it's we're wounded. Let me make a joke. Um, there has been a lot of rumors even last summer that Arsenal were looking at Anthony Gordon, and that's the type of player that we need. That's the type of left winger that we need. The directness, the clinical finisher. I would be open to it if in the summertime Gabriel Martinelli goes and Anthony Gordon is quite young and he's a pest. That's the type of player that we don't have in our team. We don't have a pest. And it's good for them. Like I said, the context of this game that they have this weekend against Man City, who eliminated them in the EFL Cup, who knows? It'd be good for them, and it also makes it easier for them, you know, for the second leg at St James's Park, right? They don't have to play an extremely strong side. They can rest some players. Um, but coming on to the Premier League, Mr. Piana,
Yup.
Chelsea,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Burnley, talk to me.
Honestly, man, I think I mean I hinted at this game. Actually, I don't know. I think it was the Arsenal game that I hinted at last pod. But either way, Premier League opposition, right? So it's still you got to go out there and perform. But at this point, based off what we have seen so far, and especially with the calibers of players we have, that new center back, Latvia, apparently Romeo Latvia is also on the training squad.
He still plays
I,
football?
yeah, man, yeah, believe it
Oh
or not,
damn.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So does Mudryk, eh? By the way, but
Who?
Mudryk,
Bro, he does not play football anymore. He
no,
changed. No, bro.
nah, bro, like he still practices right in his backyard, and he's waiting for his return. And I think, yeah, listen, like under a new manager, right? I think we can get the best out of that guy. But all in all, though, um, one player I do not want to see this game is Garnacho, personally. I think we're tired. We're tired of the guy. We're tired of the new tattoos that show up every week after their bad performances, right? And this game here should be 3 points for us. Um, if we play how we played in our last game, controlled, and we don't drop the tempo from beginning to end, I don't see why we don't come out of there with the full 3 points. Yeah.
Brentford. They look to build on their strong home performance against Arsenal. They host Brighton. Um, Depending on how the results go, they could either go up one spot if Liverpool drops points, or they could just maintain seventh place. But definitely going to be a tough game against Brighton. But again, Brighton haven't been in good form. 3 losses and 2 draws in the last 5, so um, it's going to be an interesting game. Villa, um, they're hosting Leeds at Villa Park, and the only question that I have in this game for both of you is, with Arsenal's poor form recently, are Villa back in the title race?
I think that
No.
depends on you guys and Man City, if we're being honest. And I guess Villa have the part to play too. But if both you guys do drop points in your next coming games, I don't see why not. now the question becomes actually because I know the main point that people make in regards to Villa is they probably do not have the squad to take it that far, right? Which is a fair point. Um, but again, what are they at? 50 points?
50 points, yeah, with a game in hand. So if they win that game,
Hmm.
they'd be on 53.
Yeah, 53, right? And yeah, so again, if you and City both drop points this weekend, surely, I mean, I don't see why not. It becomes to me a three-man race.
Math for me, mathematically, yes, but like, come on, no, they're not winning it. Um, I think again, yeah, mathematically they'll be encouraged by that for sure. They'll say, "Oh, hey, if we win our game in hand, we're only what 5 points back or whatever it is." But I think gun to all of our heads at this moment in time, I don't think anyone would predict Villa winning the league unless you're an optimistic Villa fan yourself. But yeah, that's just my take.
I think their focus is as soon as the next round of Europa League starts, I think their focus is going to get shifted from the Prem to winning the Europa League
Hmm.
and getting automatic Champions League qualification like that because I think Chelsea and United are going to be coming and I wouldn't be shocked if either of those two teams overtook them.
Laurent, for you, because I guess we never asked you this. Based on what we just talked about in the Arsenal segment, based on yesterday's game, from here on out, who do you have winning the Premier League?
Hmm. If I were to pick one, I mean, I
Chelsea?
listen, I wish. I wish maybe if we were in Villa's position, I'd probably opt for that. But um honestly, man, I'd say you guys still.
Really?
As yeah, as of now, I still
Wow.
think you guys are the ball is in your court. Let's put it that way.
Let's ask him this question after the North London derby based
Yeah, I
off
mean,
Yeah, we may all have to revisit our answer too after the
yeah.
Derby. We'll see. But
yeah,
why,
yeah,
Laurent? Why do you think we'll still win it? You genuinely, that's what you think? We'll still win it from here?
because I want to believe that there is no way in hell that you guys actually fumble this again. Like,
So you're playing the probability, you're not playing actual fact.
well, I mean, yeah, yeah, like obviously, the numbers, here, right, and just how catastrophic it'd be, frankly, like this would be like, wow,
Hmm.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that some people would say, yeah, they saw it coming, but let's be real, like this here would just be like, why? Like at that point, you'd almost have to ask the players like, why? What were you guys thinking? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And the manager.
yeah, yeah, and the manager as well. Um, but yeah,
So
because
you're saying it more out of hope than or like I guess hope for us, which thank you, appreciate it.
yeah, no,
Um,
this is an element to hope. But again, right, you guys are first, and with the fact that you guys actually do play City, which is a team right behind you guys, where it's an
yeah, but
opportunity to correct wrongs. So,
it is. But again, the dynamics have switched. Who do you think is going into that game as favorites now?
well, I think, well, for
City.
one, City is in better form, that's for sure. That's for sure. But I mean, form aside, um, all that takes is again, like kind of like Mehrdad mentioned, right? Leadership, right? Because these are things that are crucial to being able to change the tide, right? When you're not favored, to have people that can step up and rally the troop, right? Switch the morale or up it when it's been dampened. And yeah, but funny enough, I think these are things too that, let's say, right, the North London Derby on Sunday here, you will have to see to even see if this is what's going on, right? Like during the game, maybe you're up 1-0, and how the players playing then, or is it same old, per se, right? But yeah, listen, it's like you said, man, it's free ammunition, and yeah, boy, the whole league is just ready to load up, right? So are you are you guys really just gonna come knock on their door and hand us this ammunition, or you see what I'm saying? Like, so we're just waiting. We're just waiting, bro.
A team that's also waiting, West Ham. They look to apply some more pressure on Forest as they host Bournemouth. Forest had a pretty good win today in Europa with their new manager, Vitor Pereira. Um, I mean, and I don't think I'm alone in this. I think I speak on behalf of all three of us. I want to see Forest relegated solely because of their owner and the way that he has mistreated multiple managers, Nuno, Ange, um, Sean Dyche, who is known for keeping teams up. Um, so I hope they get relegated, and I hope that West Ham stays up because I like seeing London clubs in the Premier League. Um, Man City. I wish it was a fly on the wall when Man City players were watching the collapse of Arsenal, the Wolves. Like, what do you think is going? What do you think Pep is saying to the players before this game? Because they play first, they could be 2 points behind us with a game in hand before we kick off the North London Derby.
Broski, they're again, pause. They're licking their lips, bro. Doing one of these. Pep's like, yo, boys, we got him. Been here before. Been here before. About to do it again. You read the same book, you tend to know how it ends, right? It's another case of history repeating itself. Again, we talk about leadership in our camp, but those leaders have not done it and gotten over the line and been there and done it. You want to see leaders, as much as I hate him, Bernardo Silva, that's a leader. At Anfield, the prick, I know I don't like him as a guy on the pitch and how he carries himself, but you saw him score that equalizer against Liverpool at Anfield. What did he do? He didn't go celebrate. Oh, scored a goal at Anfield. Wow, we just look at this precious point we got. No, he scored and then he ran to grab the ball and back to the halfway line. You know, um, that's what
Was
that's what
that an
that's what leaders
equalizer or
do.
was
That
that
was an equalizer.
That was an
That was
equalizer.
just to bring it 1-1.
mm,
Most people would be happy with a 1-1 draw at Anfield. You know what I mean?
mm,
This guy said, "Yo, we need to win this game. Let me get the ball run back at half." And what did they end up doing? They went and won the game. We're talking about guys who've been there, done it, and Bernardo Silva, Luis
mm.
Diaz, Holland himself, Rodri, right? So yes, we have our leaders, but they have leaders who actually have gone the distance and knows what it takes, and Pep, who knows what it takes. So what I think that they're thinking is, wow, Arsenal made this a little bit easier for us than what we expected. Maybe they were thinking, oh, they're Arsenal going to take this down to the wire, blah blah blah. But shit, before they even kick a ball, we're doing them a job. We're doing a job for them. And they're probably licking their lips. As I said, they're happy. They're in form. Um, and they're probably just gonna carry on and steamroll. I say steamroll, not steamroll, but I do predict, and this is my early prediction. I think that they'll win on Saturday, Man City. Um, yeah, but I think, like I said, I think, they're thinking that here's our chance now. That shark is coming. It's been coming for a while, and now they're gonna sort of pounce and take their opportunity. So I think that they're just loving this at the moment, personally.
No, I
I think
agree.
I think they dropped 2 points. I think it's going to be a draw.
Laurent, what were you saying?
Listen, no, I agree. And Mehrdad, as much because I seen that you put your prediction there for a draw already. Um, but just think about it this way, right? Because I think I forgot the word that CJ used when he was referencing Bernardo Silva there, but the dangerous aspect to this right now is the fact that when they've been there, done that, right? So you're dealing with guys who it's almost like it's expected. You see what I'm saying? Like once you've reached certain standards in life,
Yeah,
just mentally, like just from a purely mental standpoint, you expect these things
you know what it
out of
takes. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly, right? Um, and that in turn, right, also directs your actions, right? Even on the pitch. So maybe you give a bit more, right, when it's required. You don't back off on certain challenges and things like that, right? Um, whereas when you reference Arsenal, um, it's the fact that it's foreign territory in a certain sense, right? Especially with this manager. So it's like, yeah, like you do your best to visualize, right? You see that outcome. Um, but it's like if you haven't done it, right?
Hmm.
You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like you
Hmm.
haven't been in that shoe, it becomes hard. And that's why I think fair enough when you see you need an elite manager, right? Someone who's like been there, done that, right? Because maybe that is what it
Luis
takes at this
Enrique.
point. Yeah, sure, why not, right? Because at that point, it's like a manager knows exactly how to set up in these types of situations, right? Um, but I think too, like if I'm Pep, to answer the initial question here, I'm telling my players not to get too overly excited. Funny enough, right? And I'm trying to now channel these, these frameworks, this attitude that we had when we won it X years in a row, right? Um, and that's all it is. You see what I'm saying? Like don't be overzealous, right? Don't overreact and just go out there and perform in the same manner, right? That got us the trophies, right? Um, so yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. But again, I think it's now it's your job for you guys to beat them. I think that's what it comes down to because they're gonna perform. I can't see them not performing, and you guys have to go. I don't know if it's home or away for you guys,
No
but
way.
It's
it's
away.
away, right? Oh, okay, so you guys have to go underground and take it from him. Funny enough. Shit, look at that script. I think that's a beautiful script if you ask me, right? You guys go out there
I
and
mean, it would
take.
silence all the haters.
Yeah.
It would definitely silence all the haters if we do it in that manner.
Mm.
There would be nothing that could be said. Nothing. um, Wolves, they look to build on their good performances in 2026. They had to Sellers to face Palace. Doesn't mean anything in this game. Whatever they get, they get. It's just a confidence thing for them. And for Palace, I don't think they're going down. They're sitting on 32 points. I do not see them going down. So it's just a matter of just getting to the end of the season and moving on from Oliver Glasner. Forest, Vitor Pereira, Marinakis is looking for that new manager bounce. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. It's going to be massive because again, I truly believe that West Ham will be Bournemouth, and that they will be tied on points. So Forest have to get a result. They have to get a result. Um, and depending on how the results go, like I'm a little sneak peek. I'm predicting an Arsenal win in the North Island Derby. Like Spurs could be 2 points. Could be 2 points behind West Ham. Sunderland, they host Fulham after their first home loss. That's crazy, eh? That like Sunderland, the newly promoted team, were the last standing home side, the team with zero home losses. But I mean, right now, no matter what they do, I don't think they're going to get into Conference League spots. They're sitting at 11th, and Fulham again, same thing. They're sitting in 12th. So it's just a matter of just maintaining that mid-table standard, and not dropping too far out. And before we get to the North Island Derby, Monday Night Football, Everton hosts United. For you, I know I can't really say much right now because of the game that we had, but for you United fans that genuinely believe you're in the title race, you kick rocks. You're playing 40 games this year. We've already played 42, 41, 42, whatever. Kick rocks. You're not in the title race. Just worry about getting top four. You're not in the title race. Like, period. Hard stop. You're not in the title. By
Where are you
your,
hearing this from? Where are you hearing this?
it's all over fucking social media.
Are you
If we
serious?
if we win out, we and City and Arsenal drop points, we win the league. I'm like, bro, if
Ah.
that happens, I for an entire year I will not grow a beard. Clip it. I might get a divorce at that point, but for an entire year I will not grow a beard.
Wait, if what happens exactly?
If
Like,
United win the Premier League this year,
oh, okay. Yeah, that's not happening.
it's not happening. You know, your fans being like, oh, no, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. No. You're in one competition. Anyways, got me all fucked up. Um, North London Derby. CJ had the preview. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. We had a special guest on the pod, a Nando's FC fan, talking about the North London Derby and predictions and squad and just kind of what what we expect to see. A saying that's going around is to dare is to dure because Igor Tudor, his first game, haha, like his run of games prior to getting sacked. I think he was winless in seven. Never managed in the Premier League. There's a lot of things that are going against them, and also I think yes, they had a week rest. They're still missing a lot of players, and they're missing their captain, their main person that would actually scare me for this game, Christian Romero. Not because I think he would injure one of our players, but more so he's the one who can get a rise out of his side. And I don't know if you guys
And a send
saw
off while he's at it. You know?
it's Ange Postecoglou was on Stick to Football, and he spoke about Christian Romero and that he needs to harness that energy and with that competitiveness that he has. And Christian Romero in North London Derby is like, yeah, sure, he can be rash, but if there's one player from that team that I don't want to see, it
Hmm.
would be Christian Romero. Um, and again, same thing with the City prediction that I've had a draw. I have Arsenal winning this game. The lineup, I don't even want to talk about the lineup because frankly, I don't care who's out there. We are winning this game.
No, 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 no. We can't do that. The lineup, I think, is crucial. You guys have to see. That's the thing. You get. I'm telling you right now. Do not take this game lightly, especially in
I'm not taking it lightly. I'm not taking it
Mm.
lightly at all. But we're winning this game.
So then, who's, bro? You got to give us like who the lineup.
Okay,
Like,
Raya, Ben White,
mm-hmm,
Saliba, Gabriel,
mm-hmm,
Hincapié, Rice, Zubamendi, Eze,
mm,
Saka if he's not injured, Gyökeres, and Martinelli.
hmm. You
Your
guys are
your
tr
your lineup or what you think he's
That
gonna do?
that's my lineup. What I would like for him to do, or like that's a lineup that I'm like, okay, this is something realistic that he could do. What I would love for him to do is keep everything the same, put Eze as left wing, keep Saka and Madueke on, and put Gyökeres up top.
wait. So where Saka goes? Where in the 10?
The
And the
10
10.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Get more
What
creative players on.
when he did that
Two
in
games in a row.
oh, so with in the Wolves games he was in the 10 position.
Yeah. Yeah. He played
No,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You don't remember the voice note Mehrdad sent you? About Star Boy versus Star Man. That's what a real Star Man is. Guess you didn't listen to that one, eh?
Bro, I must have missed it because I try my best to listen to everything he sends, but I must have missed that one for sure.
You definitely missed it because I was yeah. Anyway, CJ,
Yo,
talk to us. Talk to us.
well,
Bring me down to earth because I know you're gonna predict a draw.
um, bring us down to earth. Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, I mean, we know what needs to be done, right? We need to go and get the 3 points, of course. There's no more room for error, no margin for error. And if there's any way to right our wrongs, it's in a North London derby, right? Recent record suggests that we would be favorites. We've won three in a row in their ground over the last 3 seasons. Um, but I think we're a wounded animal as we're talking about at the moment, and it doesn't just stem from yesterday's game. It's recent. The sample sizes of the last 7 games or so since the turn of the year. We have not been playing well in the league, aside from Sunderland and Leeds. Overall, like I said, the games since the turn of the year have been consistent in terms of performances. It's been sort of timid. It's been sort of passive. Do we go? Do we not go? How do we approach it? It's all sort of been, the nerves, uncharacteristic mistakes. Um, that's just pretty much been the overall theme of how we've been playing so far in the Premier League in 2026. And like I said, if we're already showing signs of nerves and pressure in January and February, then shit. Um, I fear for us when March or April comes around. To be honest with you. But yeah, this one specifically, this is where we will really see, right? The chickens come home to roost is one of the expressions, or guys have to stand up and be counted, right? Because again, there's no hiding places now, right? North London Derby, either sink or swim. This game will truly sink us if we lose, or we rise above it and you get the 3 points and then everything is back on and everything is all to play for and the morale is good and all that stuff. So this is what these professional players and manager get paid the big bucks for, because it's tough, man. This will crack a lot of professional athletes, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, say, you didn't perform at work, but then, the next work day, you got to go in and hit that target or hit that quota for the day in order to, keep your job potentially or, get that bonus or whatever the case may be, right? Like, this is on a different scale. Obviously, this is a different level. And they earn the bread, they earn the money that they do. So listen, you're going to be in the spotlight whether you like it or not. We're looking at you guys to go out and perform. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to feed the narrative of the naysayers and the rival fans. Um, you know, so yeah, again, you win the game, you rise above all that, and then we go again. So it's we know what's at stake, right? It's just can the manager himself get it tune out the players? Is he going to change anything as we're talking about now? He doesn't show too much tactical flexibility, so I'm curious to know how he's going to approach this game, to be honest with you. Spurs are going to look to put a dagger in our title hopes, right? Like
Yep.
that's the extra incentive here. Like they are going to see this, especially after that Wolves result. Like as the Spurs themselves needed any more motivation in a derby, right? New manager, so the new manager bounce. Seeing Arsenal drop points against Wolves and thinking that they could be the ones to potentially put one of the nails in the coffin to our title hopes. They would love nothing more, in their ground. Um, that's why I'm a little, I'm honestly, I'm concerned for this one, for us, to be honest with you, because I think we are a wounded animal. There's no doubt we're the better team. Like there is absolutely no doubt. On paper, this game should be 3 points in the bag, but the game is not played on paper, right? So I am a little bit concerned. I got to be honest with you, but I'm going to be there supporting my team, and hoping we can get the job done regardless. And I think we should. Will we is a whole of the story, but I think we should. And I think, stay tuned. I will drop a sort of predicted 11 in our pre-match preview. But yeah, I think we got to revert back to some of the things that worked well for us at the beginning of the season, right? And you know what? Like funny enough, actually. I say that, but you mentioned rotation a bit there, Mehrdad. And when I heard your starting 11, obviously I didn't hear rotation out for any of the players that you suggested should come in. And I wasn't sure if again, that's based on what you would do or what you think Arteta's going to do. But like, is there a case for starting the likes of Ben White at right back for you know,
100%.
a fatigued looking Yuri and Timber? Because like you said, this is a competent 50 million pound defender that we bought that Arteta once trusted. So all of a sudden, what, he can't play? Like maybe there's a case because Timber, that was probably the worst game I've seen from him against Wolves, Timber. So is there a case that he comes in, and maybe this is a spanner in the works that we're talking about in terms of Arteta just changing things or just throwing a curveball in that nobody expects, you know? The likes of Odegaard and Havertz are apparently may be fit for this game, and at the time of recording, we haven't heard the press conference. Arteta hasn't done it yet, but I think those guys coming back in could be crucial and will be crucial. I think particularly Havertz, as much as I've talked about him in the past, and again, this is him as a strictly number nine. He's an important squad player for us, and I think he will help get the best out of the likes of Gyökeres as well. And again, in a derby, in derby matches like this, you need Kai Havertz, for the
Yeah.
fight, for the passion. Um, and funny enough, you do need Odegaard, but you don't need him for fight or for passion. I'll tell you that much. Maybe for passion, he'll run around or whatever, but not for fight. He'll probably be hiding under his blanket on the bench for when it comes down to a fight. But what you need Odegaard for in this game is for control And one thing I will say, it doesn't have to be from the start, but at some point in this game, right? Even if we have a lead going in late into the second half, you're going to need control at a certain point and somebody to just hold the ball and give us some possession. So he will be crucial for that at some point in the game, Odegaard. Because let's be honest, when Eze comes in, he's not a high touch player in terms of he's not going to get a ball and settle it and move it around a lot. He's more of a moments player, right? He'll get the ball in key moments Eze, but he's not going to look to get on the ball at every possible opportunity. He's not that sort of high touch midfielder Eze. So at that point in the game, I think we're going to need somebody like an Odegaard, right, to sort of settle things down for us and keep the ball on the floor and keep it moving. But my guy, shout out Taylor earlier when I did the breakdown with him with the North London Derby special. Check that out if you haven't already. He mentioned how he thinks that Spurs will set up against us, and he thinks that Spurs are going to set up to compact the midfield, which is
Mm.
the likes of Paulinho and Conor Gallagher, like these run around merchants and these guys who will get stuck in and who will clog the midfield and make it difficult for us to play through midfield. That's how he's expecting to set up against us, sort of maybe even a five in midfield, a five across, to kind of
Mm.
congest the midfield area and clog it up. And they have the personnel to do that if with the likes of Paulinho and Gallagher and them. So that's where it's going to be tricky for us, right? But yeah, I think the time for talking is soon going to be done. And the good news is after that Wolves result, we do have about 72 hours, 48 hours by the time this comes out until we play that game. So it's going to be a quick turnaround, and it's all about bouncing back, boys. I think we're all going to be
Big
there.
time.
We're all going to be there to see it one way or another, and we're going to see truly what this team is made of. I think that's where we're at with this.
Wait, so you said a loss buries it, but what about a draw? What does that do?
And depends on what cities.
Hmm.
And almost like in a title race, in this iteration of a title race, when you're competing against the juggernaut that is City, a draw a lot of the times feels like a loss. But I think to Mehrdad's point, I think that would actually depend on what City do, right, the day before. Like if City drop points as well, um, then if we drew the next day, it's not, terminal. But yeah, I mean if City win though, and we drop points, like if we draw, then yeah.
It's
I
over.
mean, I've already said I think we're kind of cooked, but definitely in that scenario, if they win on Saturday and we draw,
Hmm.
yeah, man, I think you can almost kind of put the nail in the coffin, I think.
Yeah. Either way, I think because we've had so many chances to go ahead and put points on the board, City drop points, it should be even more incentive for us to kick on and get the 3 points and make amends for that Wolves game and give the fans something to cheer for. Because I said it, I said, before the Wolves game, I said I want to see a dominant performance. I want to see like I obviously predicted a win. We all predicted a win, but I said it's not the win that I'm worried about. It's the performance. And the result aside, the performance of what scared me the most.
Hmm.
Right. So
Yep.
for me, like we've already gone through that opportunity for you to perform and to show why you're worthy champions this year. And because you couldn't do it against Wolves, now show it in the North London Derby. Show it when Chelsea come to town. You got a week like the Chelsea game. There's zero, and again, I'm not trying to banter you, Laurent, but there's zero excuse,
Hmm.
zero. Right, we have a week off. We are the better team. But for this game, fucking go for it. Um, Leaderboard wise, we all got Galatasaray right. We all got Newcastle right. So nothing really shifted. Um, for Man City Newcastle, based off of what you guys predicted, I have CJ and Laurent down for a City win, and I already had my name down for a draw. Chelsea Burnley, I think we're all going Chelsea, right? No need to have a discussion there.
Yeah. That's at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North London Derby, I have an Arsenal win. I'm backing my boys.
Who's next? Is it me?
No, it's Mr. Young.
Technically, it's me, but feel free to answer if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Arsenal.
Whoa! What?
I'm gonna go Arsenal.
Damn! Why are you being so kind today, CJ? Before you respond, because
Oh, it's
I know
not
that.
kindness. Don't take this the wrong way. It is not kindness. Like I said, man, I'm just out here on the porch, on my porch, just minding my own business, drinking my almond milk, right? And I'm just waiting for the dust to settle, seeing whether or not, I should grab my 12 gauge shotgun, whether it's time or not. But right now, I'm just relax, seeing what's happening amiss out there. And if you guys slip up, then shit, the sharks are coming to feed. That you can bet on it. So right now, it's not being kind. I'm just biding my time, as they say. And yeah, plus numbers wise, I think you guys do come out ahead. Um, yeah, I think you guys do come out ahead. And I'm hoping actually, Murda, what you said in regards to those leadership figures. I don't know if you guys know, but at Real Madrid, the players had a meeting amongst themselves, like a dinner. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, this was
When?
a week back, a week and a half or something like that.
yeah, for the
And
Benfica game.
yeah, so no staff, no personnel, just them to kind of right rile themselves up a bit. And yeah, so I suspect something like that must be going on in your camp, right? And yeah, shit. I think I'm being optimistic. Fuck, the more I talk, the more it sounds like, there's a dose of optimism that's just hitting me. But yeah, I'm gonna bet on you guys. I'm gonna bet on you guys on this one.
CJ,
Um,
let me convince you to say Arsenal. I'm gonna read you the list of the injuries that Spurs have. Wilson Odegaard, James Madison, Dejan Kulusevski, Rodrigo Betancourt, Mohamed Kudus, Ben Davies, Lucas Bergvall, Christian Romero, Destiny Udogi, Kevin Danso, Richarlison, Pedro Porro.
yeah, none of those are expected to return, eh? I mean, yeah, I think I'll just yeah, I think we'll win, I guess.
You don't have to say it if you wanna
It
be
doesn't
go
sound
rogue.
convinced at all.
If you wanna go rogue, just say draw.
Yeah, I think we'll win. I
Your heart
guess.
says draw, but your sorry, your heart says win, but
Win,
your
yeah.
head says draw.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a chance for you to catch up on the leaderboard.
Uh, Bro, what's wrong?
Final answer: draw or Arsenal, or shall I say, draw Arsenal or Spurs?
Um,
Your boy
I
Taylor's
think
watching this, being like, "Yes, yes."
funny enough, he predicted an Arsenal win. I was surprised. I know,
Wow,
coming from a Spurs fan,
damn.
right? Yeah. Honestly, guys,
To dare is to dure.
nah, fuck it, man. I'll back the boys. I think we'll win.
All right, I think you're gonna be convincing yourself for the next 48 hours.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Can I change it?
Nah, it's over. Nah, it's over.
Bro, this guy said, I
Uh,
guess. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Shrug of the shoulders, I guess. Like,
Well,
oh,
given that Laurent's been on his best behavior this pod, being so kind and optimistic and pro Arsenal.
bro, no way I'm closing this out again. No way. Are you serious?
Nah, okay, fine, fine, fine. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Well, another one's in the books. What did we at? What did we at, boys? 84? Was this 84?
Hmm.
We have officially entered year 2 of the pod. Episode 83 was 1 year to the date that we started, and we are officially into year 2. A lot more content coming your way. Um, CJ has been pumping out some really, really good content. Please give it a listen. It is actually very engaging, and Laurent and I are fortunately unable to join those, but I listen to every single one of them because it's that engaging. He's been doing really, really well, and the content that he brings, like, it's genuine. Some of them are raw post game reactions, and that's something that you know I look for because sometimes you just need a little bit of Arsenal therapy. Um, we got more things coming your way. For anyone who's in the GTA area, CJ and I will be at the gatherings, Resto Bar, Young and St. Clair.
I think
Hash-
Laurent said he's coming too, right?
When the hell did I say that?
no, I think he
Oh,
said he
sorry.
wasn't able to make it. Well, maybe Laurent will come,
Wait,
but
did you say that, Laurent? You can't make it?
yeah, he said he probably can't make it.
Yeah, I know for a fact I did not agree to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. So wait,
Um,
what was the answer? Did you say you make? Because I feel like you also didn't say what Mehrdad said. I don't recall you saying you're not gonna make it unless I missed
But
something.
yeah, I don't recall saying I was gonna be there. That's one, but yeah, no, most likely cannot make that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My fault,
CJ and I
Mehrdad.
will be
Carry
there.
on.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. CJ and I will be there.
Yeah.
Hashtag not a sponsor. Gathering Restaurant Bar is not our sponsor, but that's where we like to catch the game. Um, what I would love for every single one of you to do, because there's a lot of you that listen that are not subscribers, that do not like our content, please just hit a like, hit that subscribe button. Content's coming your way twice a week. And on top of that, we got the pregame and postgame uh, match previews that CJ's doing. We got a lot more coming your way. See, the year just started, and depending on how the season ends, we'll still be here. And I'm looking to not have any egg on my face by the end of the year. So on that note, let's go chicken hunting. Adios.
Adios.